Hi guys, welcome back to the tutorial slash walkthrough. It has now been a few days since I recorded the last tutorial video, sorry. And well, I've tagged a little bit, so right here, I put 70 people in there, tagged the warfare building, then went for those three, the upgrades of the units, which gives them better stats, it gives them better stats and the possibility to research upgraded abilities. How you upgrade an ability will be shown later in this tutorial. And well, first I went for scouts because you need them in Force of 3, a later boss. And then I tagged footmen because footmen are awesome units for covenants, and then knights. So now I got all three of them, tagged another gear level there, and can now enable the next warfare threshold, and therefore tag the next warfare building. That's it so far in here. Here I went for land expansion to all three of those, and then welfare building next tag. I grabbed those two while I was sleeping, so to not waste the research time. And padded the research time a little bit there, and then got all three tags in here, the building upgrade, and then tagged the next breacher level. And here we'll start with the healing upgrade, because revive will only lowers the cooldown, therefore reduces the downtime between fights, but not really helpful in fight. Well, anyway, make sure you always grab your bonus. Grab it over here every day. And make sure you grab it when you got the colony bonus level 10, or if you aren't in a convergence, then it doesn't matter. Colony bonus is gained by holding lands. We'll explain that later. Well, anyway, next thing you should do in here is either grab another building, or which will be the Temple of Conquest, the PvP building, for me. Or you can upgrade your warfare building because you got the tag. Or best case, do both. And if you then still got some followers, upgrade the welfare building. But currently I don't have any more followers and I don't have any resources, so got to do something else. Which will be step 1, upgrading an ability. Okay, my scouts got the volley ability, and I've got volley tech 2 tagged. So I de-equip the volley ability of the scouts, then head into the browser, click on crafting down here, and then here we got the formula to craft the level 2 ability out of the level 1 ability. We drag that here, click on check, see that we have the requirements, click on craft, and crafted the level 2 ability. Now what we have to do now is to, how it's called, refresh the stockpile information, which is basically done by doing a mission or relogging. But the easiest way is to start a mission and then just click back on base before you're even in the real mission. That refreshes the stockpile, so now we can equip the level 2 volley. I also tag the other abilities on level 1, so I'm going to equip them. The footmen got some nice armor skills, got their armor ability and 2 taunt abilities. One of them also does damage, so they are really good at tanking. And upgrade those abilities to whenever you think that they can't tank well enough anymore. It's taunt and riposte, that's their names. And always upgrade defensive stance when you got the time for it. Well, here we got the Force Thundering Hoofs, which is both a self-movement speed passive and an aura which decreases the movement speed of hostiles around the knight. And Forceful Blow, just a basic single target damage skill. Most important thing to upgrade for the knights is of course their charge, and then probably the Thundering Hoofs. The Forceful Blow is not a high priority. Well, Breachers. That's the key unit of the Covenant. They're, well, the strongest and best and stuff unit. It got 3 abilities. First, the Vigor of the Faithful, which is both a heal and a moral buff. Very strong. Well, it regenerates your units over time. It's not enough, by far not enough, to counter an attack of an enemy, but between battles you can heal up really well with that. Then you also got Revive, which revives unit out of a squad, but you can't revive a completely died squad, so remember to revive in time. And well, Testudo, which is basically an armor buff, but quite a strong one at that. Well, now I got the army all set up, and it's time to slay the Nightmare General. Attack! Okay, the Nightmare General consists of few parts. I will talk about that soon as you can see that, but what you should take with you is 2 footmen, 1 knight, and 1 preacher. If you don't have a preacher yet while trying that, get another footman. Because in this quest we got few different things. First we got the Shade Phantoms there, which are sealed, so they are countered by infantry. Then we got the Blugor Squad, which is also sealed and countered by infantry, and the Nightmare General himself, the Icarine Barbarian, which is also sealed and therefore countered by infantry. And the knight is, we have taken the knight for the Demochan caster here, who is ranged and therefore countered by assault. And then there are those nightmare spikes, but they can't attack, they just have to be destroyed, so the Nightmare General loses his insane buff, which makes him close to immortal. At least it makes him sufficiently immortal. Okay, step 1. We take this footman and attack. The footmans will go first, and everything else will go afterwards. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, now the footmans are engaging. We give them the heal, and we give them our armor buff. And as we can see, even though the Shade Phantoms are 4 level above our level, they are slowly dying. And it doesn't even matter if one of our footmen dies, because we got a preacher with revive. So, it's cool. First mob has been slain. That one had some life leech, so he was basically the hardest one except the Nightmare General himself. I expect him to be quite some trouble, because he's yet another level above. So he's +5 instead of +4. Okay, now next step, the Demoran caster. How that is done is, well, if you are a different race, you move in with the Dreamlord, attack, and then retreat the Dreamlord and send your assault in, like that. But since we are, they resist the charge, so it was a good idea that I've done it this way. What you can basically do with knights is just charge them, and yeah, then all is trouble solved, just like that. Okay, now one of our knights died, but since we're a Covenant, that's not a big deal. We can just revive, bamp, and we got 4 again. Simple as that. But now, of course, revive is in cooldown for another 2 minutes. Well, so that one died, and we proceed to the next Azul squad. And in the meantime, autocasts. You can enable autocast by right-clicking on an ability, or you can do it under options. Autocast able abilities on by default, but that option isn't really that good for PvP because sometimes you don't want something to autocast, and I prefer if it don't screw up because I've forgotten to disable autocast, and to rather screw up because I've forgotten to enable autocast. Anyway, that Azul unit there is dying, and the Azul Nightmare Squads, whatever you want to call it. Now, disabling the autocast again for the Nightmare Spikes, and now it's waiting for the units to be healed. And well, I will cut that out of the video, so see you in a second. And I'm back with the end. Now all my units are healed up except the Dreamlord, but that's not a big deal. He will get healed in the meantime, and even then it's not as important as the infantry being all healed up. Okay, now we are moving in. There's one thing to note: the Nightmarish Whispers aura. It reduces the movement speed of your units by 25% and the moral regeneration by 100%. So it disables moral regeneration, but you don't regenerate moral by normal means in fight anyway, so that doesn't really matter. Sending one squad to them, then giving that squad the Testudo armor buff to bring their armor reduction level a bit higher. And one thing to note: the Icarine Barbarian is immune against spells, so offensive spells are useless, but it doesn't matter, we have won victory! Well, we got two things from that, and of course a ton of soul shards because we got a bonus. The Severed Wings of the Commander are the quest item which has to be put into the which has to be put into the Convergence Wall to progress with quests, and the Nightmare's General Heart is a 3% heart, 3% orb. So it's a great opportunity. Medal from killing that guy. Well, great opportunity to talk about orbs and scrolls. You can basically put orbs and scrolls in there on monuments here, and they will give you bonuses, like production bonuses for orbs and scrolls, and production and research bonus for well, how's it called? Monuments. And yeah. Okay. So the value which you can use is determined by the maximum Patriot bonus value, which can be increased by that tech. So as soon as you got the tech 1, you can use the Nightmare General's Heart, because it's an awesome orb and really low value while giving a high bonus. 3% is a lot. Okay, so I stick it into the training ground to increase my production. As you can see, production increased by 45 points approximately, and expedition size increased because of that. We apparently have lost because we lost some lands, and yeah. This concludes the tutorial for this time. The next one will be about the Nightmarish Labor, the better known as the Womp quests. It's so interesting. And afterwards I will talk about that guy there, the Force of 3. So, see you then!